Welcome to our channel. We're so glad to have you here with us today. Today we're diving into a topic that might surprise you. The cars that seniors just can't stand. Yes, you heard that right. There are certain vehicles out there that just don't sit well with our older generation. Stay tuned to find out which vehicles made the list and why. We'll be breaking down the reasons behind these choices, and you might find some of them quite enlightening. Welcome to the channel, everybody. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Today we're talking about cars seniors hate. It's a topic that's not often discussed, but it's incredibly important. You know, when you get to a certain age, you start to appreciate the finer things in life. A good cup of coffee in the morning, a comfortable pair of shoes, and a car that doesn't make you feel like you need a chiropractor after every drive. It's all about comfort and ease of use. A car that offers a smooth ride, easy-to-use controls, and good visibility can make all the difference. You younger folks, you're all about that sport suspension and those low-profile tires. And that's great for you, but it's a different story for seniors. But let me tell you, after a certain age, your bones start talking to you. They crave comfort and a smooth ride, not the jarring experience of a stiff suspension. And they don't like being rattled around like a paint can in the back of a pickup truck. It's not just uncomfortable, it can be downright painful. So, we're gonna go through a few cars that seniors might want to avoid. We'll explain what makes these cars less than ideal for older drivers. We're talking about the kind of cars that make you say, you know what? I think I'll just stay home and watch Matlock. So, grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's get started. Now, I appreciate a good sports car as much as the next guy. There's something about the sleek design, the roar of the engine, and the thrill of the drive that gets the adrenaline pumping. But when you're talking about cars seniors hate, compact sports cars are right up there. It's like they were designed to be the bane of our existence. You see these youngsters getting in and out of them like it's nothing. They make it look so effortless, like they're stepping into a pair of comfortable shoes. Me, I try to get in one of those things and I feel like I'm gonna pull a hamstring. It's like trying to fold a piece of cardboard into a tiny box. It's all about that low center of gravity, you see. It's great for handling those sharp turns and high-speed maneuvers. They build those cars low to the ground, which is great for handling, but not so great for your knees. Every time you get in or out, it's like doing a deep squat. You practically have to fold yourself in half just to get behind the wheel. It's like performing a complicated yoga pose. And once you're in, forget about it. You're crammed in there like a sardine in a can. You're practically sitting on the floor with your knees up around your ears. It's not exactly the most comfortable driving position. And the seats? Don't even get me started on the seats. They look stylish, sure, but they're a nightmare for long drives. They're like sitting on a park bench, hard and unforgiving, hard as a rock with no lumbar support to speak of. After a while, your back starts to feel like it's been through a wrestling match. You drive one of those things for an hour, you're gonna need a heating pad and a bottle of ibuprofen. Trust me, your body will thank you later. And then there's the visibility, or lack thereof. It's like trying to see the road from a submarine. You're so low to the ground you can barely see over the steering wheel, let alone over the hood. It's a constant struggle to keep an eye on the road. It's like driving a bathtub. You feel enclosed and restricted, with hardly any room to move. Now I know what you're thinking, Jay, you're just getting old, and maybe I am. But I'd like to see one of these young bucks try getting in and out of one of these things after a long day of yard work. It's not as easy as it looks. They'd be singing a different tune, I guarantee it. After a day of hard labor, even they would find it challenging. They'd be singing a different tune, I guarantee it. The discomfort would be written all over their faces. Now, I'm all for progress. I love new technology, always have. It's fascinating to see how far we've come. But some of these new electric cars, they're a little too high-tech for their own good. It's like they're trying to be more than just cars. You get in some of these things, and the dashboard looks like the cockpit of the space shuttle. It's almost intimidating. Touch screens, voice controls, all these buttons and gizmos. It's like you're piloting a spaceship rather than driving a car. It's enough to make your head spin. Sometimes you just want simplicity. You just want to adjust the air conditioning and you end up accidentally changing the radio station or activating the windshield wipers. It's a comedy of errors. And don't even get me started on the infotainment systems. They're supposed to make things easier, but they often do the opposite. They're so complicated, it takes a degree in computer science just to figure out how to pair your phone. It's like solving a puzzle. By the time you get it all figured out, you've already reached your destination. It's almost laughable. And then there's the range anxiety. It's a constant worry. You're constantly worried about running out of juice, especially if you're going on a longer trip. It adds a layer of stress. You're stuck planning your route around charging stations, which, let me tell you, are not as common as gas stations. It's a logistical challenge. Look, I'm all for saving the planet. We need to be more eco-conscious. But I also want a car that's easy to use and doesn't require a user manual the size of a phone book. There's gotta be a balance. Now, I understand the appeal of a big SUV. You feel safe, you've got plenty of room for the family, and you can haul just about anything. But let's be honest, some of these SUVs are just too darn big. You try parking one of those things in a crowded parking lot, and you're gonna have a bad time. It's like trying to parallel park a Winnebago. And forget about seeing anything out the back window. You practically need a spotter just to back out of your driveway. And then there's the fuel economy, or lack thereof. These things guzzle gas like it's going out of style. You fill up one of these tanks, and it feels like you're taking out a second mortgage. Look, I'm all for having a capable vehicle. But some of these SUVs are just overkill. They're like driving a tank down the road. Chapter 4: Performance Sedans. Now, I've driven my fair share of fast cars in my time, but when it comes to everyday driving, I'll take comfort over speed any day of the week. And that's where performance sedans fall short. They're all about that sporty feel with stiff suspensions and low-profile tires, which is great if you're on a racetrack. But on real roads, it's a recipe for a bumpy ride. You feel every crack and pothole in the pavement. And the exhaust? Don't even get me started on the exhaust. It's so loud, you'll be waking up the whole neighborhood every time you start the engine. Look, I appreciate a good handling car, but I don't need to feel like I'm driving a go-kart every time I go to the grocery store. Chapter 5: Luxury European Cars. Now, I'll admit I've got a soft spot for a nice European car, but let's be honest, they're not exactly known for their reliability. You spend all that money on a luxury car, and you're constantly worried about something breaking down. And when it does break down, get ready to open your wallet. Parts are expensive, labor is expensive, everything about owning a European car is expensive. You'll be spending more time at the mechanic than you do behind the wheel. And then there's the depreciation. These cars lose value faster than a new iPhone. You drive one off the lot, and it's already worth half of what you paid for it. Look, I appreciate fine craftsmanship, but I also appreciate a car that's reliable and won't break the bank every time it needs an oil change. Chapter 6: Older Model Sedans. Now, I'm all for vintage cars, but there's a difference between a classic and just plain old. And some of these older model sedans, they're just past their prime. They lack all the modern safety features you find in newer cars. No backup cameras, no lane departure warnings, no blind spot monitoring. It's like driving a time capsule. And the technology? Forget about it. You're lucky if you've got a cassette player, let alone Bluetooth connectivity. And then there's the reliability. Older cars are more prone to breakdowns, and parts can be hard to find. You're constantly worried about something going wrong. Look, I appreciate a good old-fashioned car, but I also appreciate my safety and peace of mind. Outrow. That's a wrap. So, there you have it. 6 cars that seniors might want to avoid. Now, this is just a lighthearted look, and of course, everyone has their own preferences. But if you're looking for a comfortable, reliable, and easy-to-use car, you might want to steer clear of these. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Let us know in the comments if there are any other cars you think should be on this list. See you next time.